All right, so first things first is I have Stewie here joining us, and second is this is obviously a replay that is obviously not mine. This is actually my friend Shockwave, who is on my Discord server. If you want to ever talk to him, but he did send me this replay, and he's actually in voice call with me right now. So say something. By the way,
Right? Uh,
people aren't gonna think
okay,
I'm
I guess I
lying.
will clarify something very quickly. For all purposes and all parties involved, this is a press account, which means it's provided to me by Wargaming purely for research purposes, as I am part of the Wikipedia team, and, well, frankly, that's all I can say to that. I can't say anything.
Good to know. I mean, the name was obvious, but okay. So immediately, looking at the matchmaking, Malta is going to be annoying to deal with. Des Moines, Stalingrad, possibly a Minotaur for radar. Venezia, Sap, Gearing and Daring destroyers, and there's also a submarine to piss you off as well.
Yeah.
So at least it's domination, and it's not standard battle. You got that going for you. No,
Standard
this
battle
is
was certainly a bit irritating,
yeah,
to say the least.
yeah. And
Very
this is
fortunate the Malta doesn't. Very fortunate Malta doesn't go for me straight off the bat, so that's something to consider. He's just floating around in the ether.
Yeah, and this is my first time watching this replay, so everything that you're gonna see is gonna be my genuine reaction to whatever bullshittery you have in store for us. So I see your Montana's playing Island Cockroach, and your Salem is kind of chilling near the Montana. So that's always fun to see. And, interesting hydro.
Well, the reason why I started running my Hydro was because just in case there was a destroyer that actually came around the side of the islands, because this is usually what I like to do on this map at the start of pretty much every single battle, if I get this side of the destroyer, is to play this island. When you play this island, you have two critical things. One, you're stopping the enemy team from pushing around the island, and two, you basically have free vision throughout the entirety of the team. Now, the Des Moines is going to be the interesting one, and you see that I'm checking the map really quickly to see its distance, and I'm just reversing slowly. Des Moines doesn't know that I'm here. The only thing he knows is that he's been RPF'd, so he assumes that the destroyer is non-decap, is kind of just floating and trying to spot him, etc. This is where we get greedy. This is where things get funny.
Oh,
You see,
I think I see what's about to happen here.
So one of the major advantages of Daring is obviously the fact that it has single launch torpedoes. Now these torpedoes hit hard, and they're hard. They're not particularly fast, but you land enough of them, and well, Edison, turn out immediately, torpedo, turn away fully, immediately DCP. He's not going to survive that.
That is ripped to that guy.
Yep.
Well, not what I thought was going to happen when that Des Moines popped up. You did take a fair old bit of damage for that, though, but you also killed a radar cruiser, so all is fair.
Yeah. Now I'm just going to basically try and get this Wisconsin and try and bait and shoot. However, what I do see on the minimap, if I'm checking the minimap very carefully, is that I also see that there's a Libertad, there's another destroyer there, and there's also a Venezia.
Yep.
So right now I'm thinking I have to play very defensively. I'm not going to try and contest the cap with like 10 people, because that's going to be a huge mistake for me to do.
Yeah. Your Salem's probably not going to be very long for this world as well.
Yeah, he lasts long enough to stall them out so that I can actually get to a defensive position. Right? So immediately I'm thinking I'm going to run. I'm going to try and get vision for this Salem so you can shoot at the island. But I'm just not going to say anything. I want to see your reaction to what happens here.
Alright. See that smoke coming up there? I would assume that is Daring smoke. And the Daring did end up letting your friendly Salem go dark there. So nice smoke usage from that Daring.
Oh,
yeah, that's the thing.
And that's immediately why I start smoking. I know it's a burst smoke, but if I can stay dark behind that smoke, I can just run from it. very easily.
Yeah. And all you have to do is get that smoke in between, whether it's a burst or even a regular. The goal is to use the smoke to break the line of sight while you haul ass.
Yeah. The next thing I see is that this Libertad is going to try and come from behind the Salem. So I'm talking to the Salem. Don't back out because Wisconsin's also going to be sitting there. Just go forward, try and trade with the Venezia as much as possible, and give me some breathing room, right?
Yeah.
Because that Salem is properly screwed. If he goes around the corner, it doesn't matter which way he goes. He's got a Venezia in front of him. He's got a Barry in front of him. He's got a Libertad coming from behind. He's kind of dead either way. The only thing I need him to do now is kind of just stall for time.
Yeah.
I'm torpedoing, anticipating the Libertad now, but I kind of expected him to go like a little bit further around the edge of the island, but Libertad's handling is so good that he can actually make that turn very sharply. So these torpedoes are going to end up missing.
Yeah, personally, what I would have done is that most people, when they're doing like a maneuver like that, where they're trying to wrap a cruiser or anything that's on an island, most people will take that turn very slowly in order to try and make that turn as close to the island as possible. So if I was in that position, I probably would have tried single firing at least one launcher right on the very end there. And that Libertar did end up turning out slightly, which would have thrown that off, but that's just what I personally try and do.
Yeah. I don't really think about it. My whole thinking with that was kind of to just try and get him to slow down there, just to buy me more time. Here's the thing with Daring. It is not particularly fast. It's one of the slowest tier 10 destroyers in the game. Without an engine boost, or, its main advantage is that it has great acceleration. It has incredible agility. But it's super slow. So my whole thing with that was just buy some time, let's, create some space. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm creating space. But I'm not going so far away from the battle that I can't engage. Right now I'm just trying to, chip away at this Wisconsin, set some permafires. And this Venezia, by the way, we're not done with it. I'm not done with this Venezia, by the way, because this Ven is going to try and blind fire me in a second, I think.
Yeah.
So now I'm just,
he has nothing better to
fires.
shoot at, to be fair.
He could have shot the Montana. He shoots me, gets, I think that was just one hit.
Yeah,
I also see his
looked
torpedoes.
like it.
And I also see that my smoke is fading, so I'm just going to, go passive. I'm going to stop shooting.
Yeah. And also something else I want to point out real quick is that a lot of people, when they're smoking up to farm, is that they will pop their smoke and then start slowing down, which isn't inherently bad. Like sometimes that's just like a reaction, like a reactionary type of smoke. But if you smoke up planning to farm from it, make sure that you're going slow enough for your smoke to cover you, whether you're just very moving slow to begin with, or you slow down before you start smoking, or if you're going full speed and you do pop your smoke, just make sure you slow down and that your smoke is actually covering you, because if you fire right before that smoke puff covers you because you're going too fast, you're going to remain spotted for 2 seconds for someone to snap a shot off at you.
Also, I don't know if you saw that there. Right, okay, the torpedoes look really good. I'll explain after this torpedo saddle lands.
That looks... Hold on, that's a screenshot and a half right there.
That's screenshot material, definitely. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Bazinga!
And I see you're running a Cunningham as well, both from the pennant there that I didn't comment on, but yeah.
So
I also think you have the colored cell tracers too.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed this though.
No, B is being flipped.
Yeah, that's the Daring. I did something very, very subtle. I don't know if you noticed it. But when the Malta was coming in for an attack run against the Montana, I turned the other direction. That way, if I turned towards Montana, I would have been spawned, and those torpedoes would have been dodged. But the Malta, he went towards Montana, I just turned away from the Montana, and now it's like, hey, guess what?
You also slowed down, I believe, as well.
Yeah, I slowed down and turned away from Montana, so I didn't get detected. Yeah. Now here, I'm just going to try and pick off this Venezia. He's the biggest threat to me, right? It's a Venezia. He levels another blind shot at me, and unfortunately, this one missed entirely.
Yeah. That wasn't even that far off, to be fair to him.
Wasn't that far off, yeah, but he missed his thankfully. Yeah. And now that's the other advantage of the Daring, is that is those rapid fire guns, the combination with that really good armor piercing. Well, Daring has improved AP auto bounce angles and good fuse time. What that means is that on other structures, you're going to get a lot of penetrations pretty easily onto opponents. Now I'm going to try and torpedo the Wisconsin here. But notice how I'm not shifting away from the torpedo launcher. This is to avoid tripping his priority target if he has it. Right? I always assume every single ship that I fight has priority target. Why? Because because you don't want to waste a torpedo cell, right? Especially if you're playing the ship.
Especially not like a Daring that has like a really long torpedo reload.
Exactly. And now I shift to the guns and walk onto the Daring. The Wisconsin doesn't know that I launch torpedoes at all. He's not going to know until the last second.
Yeah.
Right? He's closed.
He also would have theoretically should have noticed that RPF switched off of him and presumably onto the Daring, which from his perspective, like I'm just talking about like from the perspective that Montana, you had him RPF'd. So and as soon as your RPF switched to the Daring, that also would have clued him in to where if he was thinking about torpedoes, which he obviously wasn't, that would have been like a bit of a clue as to where that torpedoes would have been coming from.
Definitely, yeah.
I see the Wisconsin. That was a pretty nasty hit.
Wisconsin hit me, but thankfully that wasn't the Venezia hit. That's the only thing that I'm really thankful about.
Yeah, and then
I'm just going to try and set up.
Yeah, that Montana is, or not Montana, the fucking Wisconsin is hard just pressing W at you here.
Yeah. Right now, I'm just going to keep shooting at him because I know the Midway is going to come in for torpedo runs. I'm going to take a big old hit from here, from the HG.
Yeah, because
I'm not really concerned about it, though. Oh, it's HG, but he pops his funny button.
Yeah, there's the funny button. And then he gamer turns. And your smoke is lasting.
Go behind the smoke, exactly.
Yeah. And your smoke lasted just long enough for you to do that.
Yeah, not what I would call textbook, but that's pretty close.
Yeah.
Close shave, definitely.
And you're talking some trash in the chat that not really trash.
I have every single right. I have all rights to talk trash right now. I single-handedly stopped that entire flank.
To be fair, that is true.
Pushing in. So I have all rights. Now, here's the reason why I played super aggressively against that Wisconsin. One was that the Midway was supporting me. Two, I have 2 heals left. I can afford to throw some down, right? Like, just as long as I don't die. I was pretty confident in the fact that the smoke would stay up long enough for me to, because I have smoke timers running, obviously, and I know how long my smoke is going to last anyways, because I'm counting. So, at the very least, now I know that, I can engage the Wisconsin safely and finish him off before he has a chance for his funny button to tick over and get his heal going. Or his DCP, for that matter. And I finish him off. Pretty comfortable,
and then the funny button, if memory serves, also reduces his reload as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I needed to kill him quickly, because I would have been dead if I had stayed spotted. That was definitely very risky for me. Right now, my goal is to cap, right?
Yeah, and while you were at it, you had to teabag the corpse of the Wisconsin there.
Of course I did. I forgot the depth charge. I should have depth charged the corpse, but...
Yeah, oh well.
Oh well, missed opportunity. But right now, my goal is to go for B, and then to go for D. Because here's the thing, right? We are down 2 caps. Our
full health
Ohio, and this is something that comments on the end of the battle, has been completely and utterly useless in the game.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, I didn't say it like in the push to talk, but I was just commenting about like full health Ohio, typical battleship players. And even the cat agrees with me.
And the cat will agree. Yeah, that's the thing though. So obviously I'm being very patient here. I'm just going to cap this. But ironically, this Ohio is going to be very useful towards the end of that. And for good reason. Because he's going to go through the metal, and what he's going to do is actually provide me with a distraction. What does that mean? It means I can cap B and D safely without the Malta harassing me. That's kind of the big thing. The Malta has not had time or has not had the mind to go after me because of the fact that he's just been farming damage. I mean, you know, in a pretty typical manner, I'd say.
Yeah, pretty
Not
typical
to
carrier
be
players.
typical carrier play. I'm not going to blame him though. If he had gone for me, I think he would have won this game because there was no way the midway was going to kill the Malta and the Stalingrad, and our Bilal was going to die very soon.
Yeah, I mean the
Our midway
Baleo
also-
did end up killing the Yamato though.
Yeah, which is very fortunate for me because that buys me more.
Yep. And also to note that the Ohio, even though we were making fun of him for being full health and everything, that obviously means he hasn't been getting shot at. So most or all of his AA should still be intact.
The other thing too is that he probably still has at least 3 or 4 heals left. He probably also has most of his health left. What that means is that it's going to present big fat juicy banana for the monster, right? Instead of going for the destroyer that's capping D and potentially in his goddamn face.
And the one that's like literally actively spotting him right now.
In his mouth, literally in his mouth, right? I mean, you would think. I mean, this is what puzzled me. I'm like, he's plane spotted me. I was spotted very briefly in the cap. That should give some indication, like, hey, there is a daring. Maybe I should do something about that.
He's also in a division. Like, okay. He's also in a division with the Libertard from earlier, so that his division mate should also be telling him, "Hey, there's a daring in your mouth."
Yeah, and there should be daring screaming during his mouth. Now he sends out the rocket planes, and I immediately smoke up because I'm like, now he's coming for me.
Yep. And also to point out is that when you smoked up, the Malta's obviously not going to shoot at you because it's a carrier, but when you smoked up, the friendly midway planes were just in range to keep him spotted. So this smoke is not only protecting you, but it's also giving you the ability to dunk on the Malta a little bit more. I say that as you shatter like every single thing. But
I'm not going to shatter these though. Do I see 1, 2, 3, 4, ladies and gentlemen?
That's a screenshot and a half right there.
Back to the lodge, boys. There we go.
Yeah, should have said that. You should have said that in chat. I normally would, but I'm chat banned.
So, yeah. And at this point, I'm like, I'm done. That's my job done. I'm out of here. Here's the thing. I've won the game, basically. I don't need the part. I just need to run at this point. Because here's the thing. It's a Stalingrad. I don't want to take a fist fight with a Stalingrad. I have no heals left, 2 good hits from that Stalingrad, and I'm dead. And that Stalin potentially has the chance to win the game by himself. Because this Ohio, I mean, now he's on like a third of his health. He's been completely useless other than being a meat shield.
Yep.
At this point, it's like, whatever. I'm done here. I don't need to win. I could go cap, but
even if the Ohio dies, which I'm guessing he's probably going to based on how he's played so far, you have triple caps on them, even with the points changing from the Ohio dying. First of all, the Stalingrad is going to get farmed by a midway. And second of all, even if the Ohio dies, you should still have the caps and the time to get the points different back. And I'm just going to guess that your AA is off right now, but it's just the everyone's favorite replay bug, aside from the score sometimes being flipped and sometimes everything being out of sync and sometimes the reticle disappearing and sometimes the wake of your ship being out of sync with the replay. You get the idea.
Yeah. I don't even remember at this point because I had too much adrenaline from basically killing that entire flame. I mean, think about it, right? What did I kill? I killed the Wisconsin. I killed the Des Moines. I killed the Daring. I killed the Libertad.
The Venezia as well.
The Venezia as well. I mean, the Venezia I just chipped to death, but that's fine.
Yeah.
And then I got the Malta. That's basically everybody on that flank died to me.
Yeah. Well, the Malta was started on the opposite flank and then came over to your side and then died.
I don't know. I don't know what happens. Credit to him for at least recognizing that there was a threat there, but I don't think he realized just how that Daring torpedoes actually have that much range.
Yeah.
Because either that or he didn't realize the fact that he basically drove into my torpedoes.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. 2.7k basic speed, 6 kills, 280,000 damage, and
Also,
one very, very salty stealth.
Also, I just want to point out real quick that the Des Moines that you press W at and fucking YOLO torped first thing in the game still scored higher than 3 of his team.
Yeah.
Yeah. That really takes
I
some
don't even
doing.
know. That is certainly a moment of all time. But yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, every single
Unfortunately,
target that I engaged, that's every single target I engaged with kills. That's it. That's basically all I can say to that.
The Des Moines started on your side, he died. The Daring started on your side, he died. Libertard started on your side, died. Venezia died. We're sensing a pattern.
I basically killed every single ship on this flank. Now, admittedly, I will admit freely that the Venezia was kind of stolen by me. But the reason why I will admit that is solely because of the fact that I'm thinking this Midway is not going to be able to cycle in time, and eventually the Maltz is going to get sick and frustrated at me. He's just going to try and get rid of me, and I'm going to run out of smokes. And I need those for the end game. So I kind of just chip killed him. Right? I had to. There was no choice.
Just to guarantee he went down before his get out of jail free card came back up.
Precisely. But yeah, I mean, I will say I got very, very lucky with the torpedoes on the Libertad. I did not expect those to connect because I had torpedoed there anticipating him around the islands, but I didn't actually expect him to just run into them like that.
Yeah. I think what that Libertard... from the perspective that Libertard, what I think he was expecting was that he was expecting torpedoes, because he is in Resin, which is not a bad clan. I mean, they're fucking purple. So he's not a bad player, and he's not in a bad clan. So, and he has a div mate who is probably also decent as well. Never mind. But what I think he was thinking is he was fully aware that there was a Daring out here. But what I believe he thought is that you were more towards your home cap to try and contest the Daring that he knew was going over there as well. So what I expect that Libertard was thinking is that there's probably torpedoes, but he just got it wrong where he thought they were going to be coming from.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there anything else you want to say? Or is that it?
The only thing I really have to say is, well, nothing can be textbook. I feel like I did make some mistakes, right? I took a bit too much damage from Wisconsin that I probably could have avoided. That's one thing. You could also look at this and say, oh, you got 280 damage and 6 kills, but most of that was torpedo damage. You played way too passively. But at the same time, though, it's also recognized in the battle state. This is one of those rare games that I play where I can actually see what the heck's going on, because sometimes things just go by too fast for me.
Yep.
And at other times, it can often feel like everything slows down. This was one of those games where everything slowed down for me. I was able to very precisely read what everybody was doing. At the same time, though, I got pretty lucky in the fact that, that was basically 4 depth strikes, if you think about it. Because the Wisconsin basically took almost all of his health. Right? I took almost all of his health.
Yeah.
Multi-death struck, the Des Moines I death struck, the Libertad I death struck. And the short of it is that sometimes it depends on being more patient and more passive than anything else, right? You can't just depend upon high aggression gameplay every single time, nor can you depend upon being too passive, right? It's a good mix of being both passive and defensive. And think about it, right? I got 17 torpedo hits, which would have bulked my damage, but I still got 300 gun hits at the end of the game, too. I still did, almost 90k gun damage.
It was only 64 gun damage, actually.
64?
Yeah.
64 plus 30, I'm going to count the fires.
Yeah, and most of your damage just came from these 4 right here. And these were all of the people that you torpedoed.
Yeah. I won't say that's good torpedo marksmanship. I feel like I got really lucky with that.
Yeah, those were all of them were pretty good. I'm honestly surprised that the Wisconsin survived that. The Libertar.
I landed 4 torpedoes.
I already talked about him. The Malta, I mean, carrier players.
Malta.
Yeah, and then the Des Moines, poor bastard.
Yeah, poor Addison. He got a very unwelcome surprise.
Yeah. What do you have anything that you want this replay to be called, or you anything?
I'll go with whatever you want to.
Okay, we're going to call it Captain Cat or something, because Stewie is meowing in the background.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm just surprised that the Malta never saw me, or he never even thought to himself, yeah, maybe this daring is actually knows what he's doing. I don't know what he was thinking, but he paid the price for it.
Especially when you were capping and actively spotting him and shooting him, and you were still like, yes, farm the Ohio.
I can't blame him. Big juicy banana. I'll give him that.
Carrier players, such confusing people.
Yeah, truly.
Alright, yeah, that's it. Earl, any closing remarks, or is that it?
Fuck carriers.
I agree with that sentiment. Fuck carriers, fuck submarines, and the people who play them with cinder blocks.